In our last video, we decided we had the values of a as 1, b as 6, and c as 8 for the equation x squared plus 6x plus 8. And now we're going to find what those values are. Now, we've already solved it. We know that x is 2 and x is 4. And we're going to solve it using the quadratic equation. We already know the answer. X is either going to be a negative 4 or an x is going to be a negative 2. But we're going to do it using the quadratic equation so we can see how it works. And it actually does, in fact, reveal and result in the answers that we have previously calculated. So we already know where we're headed, and so we have an expectation for how this is going to work and resolve the equation for us. Sorry, the results for us. So here we go. Let's take a look at this now. So let's go ahead. I'm going to now populate the equation. Here it is. I'm going to restate the equation. So it's going to be let's have a look. So minus b plus or minus b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. So as I do this, remember that's what x is going to equal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it all using plus to start with. I'm going to go x is equal to negative b plus all of this, and then in the end I'm going to just change that to a minus and do it for minus as well, having already done the heavy lifting with all these calculations. So I've got a b squared minus a 4ac times c all over 2a. So b equals that, or b equals the one with a negative in. So let's just do the one with the positive first. Let's go ahead. Now we've already decided that we've got, and I'll just write it in on the side here. So we've got an a is 1, a b is 6, and a c is an 8. So let's add those in now. So I've got negative b, negative, what's b going to be? Well, b is 6, here it is, plus, in this case, square root b squared. Well, I'll put anything in there is going to be squared. What's b? b is 6, that's right, minus 4, there it is, times a, and a was 1, times a c, and c was 8, all over 2a. Let's see how that all plays out. Well, this is going to be negative 6 plus, I have a square root. 6 squared is 36. Negative 4 times 1 is 4 times times 8. So 4 times 1 times 8 is 32. It's going to be minus 32 all over 2 times 1. Probably should have put a 1 in there, by the way. Yeah. All right. So this is negative 6 plus 36 minus 32 is 4 all over 2 times 1 is 2. Now I'm going to put a line in the page here, and I'm now going to solve for the other one, which is going to be negative 6 minus, there's my minus, yeah? So I said we were going to have a plus and a minus, so let's do it for minus as well. Here it is, it's going to be minus the square root of 4 all over 2. And that b there, let's replace that with our minus 6 as well. So we'll make it properly. Okay, so of course the square root of 4 is 2, so it's going to equal negative 6 plus 2 all over 2. Or, and this is the or, yeah, this is or, because this is x equals, or this thing. I've got a line down the middle, but don't worry about that. Negative 6, well, square root of 4 is 2, we know that, so it's going to be negative 6 minus 2 all over 2. So what does that come to? Well, negative 6 and 2 is going to be negative 4 over 2, or negative 6 minus 2 is going to be negative 8. So it's going to be negative 8 on 2. So therefore, x is going to equal negative 2, or in this case, it's going to be negative 4. And when we write these, we're probably best to write them in order. That is numerical order. The smallest one first. So x, we could say, is an element of, and you could write it using set builder notation. I tend to do that. Minus 4, comma, space, negative 2. Or you could just write it like this. But I would say x equals negative 4 or negative 2. We write the smallest one first. Does not matter if you didn't do that, but it's probably mathematically more sound to write the smallest one first because we generally do things in numerical order. All right, hopefully that makes sense. But notice, of course, we've got exactly the same answer, negative 4, comma negative 2, as we did over here. Here we are, look, -4, -2, and that's what we did in the previous video. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you can see how that played out and how very simple it was. Notice there was a few steps to do, but at the end of the day, it takes an otherwise very complicated situation and we can break it down into manageable steps. And that's how we use the quadratic equation to solve, where we can, for answers where the various factors are going to be not neatly nice integers or something like that. Sometimes, or numbers with a simple answer like a -3/2 or something. So if it's more complicated than that, you're probably going to want to use the quadratic equation.